Welcome to the final episode of Season 2 of Ghost Stories. Join me, your host, Arthur Q. Mansley, and my delightful intern, Beth.
Hello.
As we delve into the intricacies of ghouls, ghosts, goblins, and everything in between, discussing their habitat, their footwear, their celebrity lookalikes.
What?
Well, on occasion, it has happened to me where I attempt to interview a creature, and it is only partially through the interview that I realize I am interviewing a local celebrity.
Like Ryan Gosling?
Like Ryan no, if ever I tried to interview an angel, I'm sure I would mistake Ryan Gosling for the angel. No, the mistakes I more commonly make are, Jack Black. He's a very hairy man, to be blunt.
What about Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges, I don't deal with aliens, Beth.
Is Jeff Bridges an alien?
I don't want to announce it and make it a clear, firm statement here, now, live on the internet. But probably.
Anyway, what are we talking about today in the episode?
The weather is getting chillier. Temperatures drop. People snuggle up. And they dream about their favorite cryptids.
Like the floating pumpkin that haunts your dreams?
Beth, I think that is a you thing. No, I'm talking about everyone's favorite cold time cryptid, the Yeti. Or, as others refer to him, the abominable snowman.
The abominable snowman? You talk to him?
Oh, did I ever?
That's so cool.
Yes.
Get it? It's cool. Cool, like cold.
But are we doing ice puns?
Yes.
This episode? Are you giving me free reign?
Was the abominable snowman a pretty ice guy?
He's very chill, Beth. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we delve into that, let's delve into the history of the creature.
Yeah.
Tales of a hairy, white-furred creature roaming about the mountains have existed.
Wait, which mount?
Just any mountains in general have existed since the dawn of time.
When people started climbing mountains.
Yeah, as soon as mountains were discovered, people were like, whoa, there's probably some big hairy guy living up there.
That's because the hair is insulating.
You are nailing it, Beth. Yes, the hair is an insulating feature, stark white to blend into its snowy environs.
Camouflage, natural camouflage.
Yes, an expert hunter, the Yeti is. But tales from various mountain ranges. Of course, the term Yeti is more local to the Tibetan mountain ranges.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And that's in, like, South Asia-ish,
It's
right?
like Nepal, in that area, I believe. In Tibet.
In Tibet, because it's
That-
the Tibetan
It is the
mountains.
Tibetan mountain range, yes. Beth, I'm not a geographer.
Or a geologist, but that's
Or a
separate.
geologist. Well, I dabble. But anyways.
That was in the 60s?
Those in the Tibetan mountain ranges, the Tibetans, as you will, refer to him as not the Yeti, but the Meti.
Oh, why has it changed from that term to the Yeti?
In the local language, Meti means bear.
You know, fair.
Not like naked, like my bare chest, but like the creature, a bear. Much like I have the chest of a large bear.
That's just an example sentence, please.
Yeah, well, I
I don't
speak
want
in
to.
facts.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about either. I don't want. But bear, as in like grizzly bear.
As in bear, because it is a large, hairy creature.
Like
And
a polar bear.
The English, as they do, have taken this word into a back alley, beaten the tar out of it,
That's
and
brutal.
made it their own.
That's a lot.
So they would take Meti and turn it into Yeti,
Just because they feel like it.
just because they feel like it, Beth.
Okay. So Yeti doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Besides possibly bear.
Well, Yeti, the word itself, doesn't mean anything, but it came from Meti,
Correct.
which does mean bear
Yes.
as an animal.
And because this is all nonsense naming, bastardization, the new common colloquial way to refer to the creature is the abominable snowman.
What does abominable mean, though?
Despicable, detestable, disgusting.
That seems kind of harsh too, because he's just a guy trying to live. Arthur, do you think that he's pretty abominable? Do you think it's fair to categorize a guy you've never met as abominable? A guy you've never really seen, because like a lot of people said maybe we saw this guy, but never actually maybe talked to him.
You see, Beth, oftentimes names, as horrible and vile and insulting as they are rooted in fact and truth.
Like what?
Well, would you like me to recount my
Is
tale?
Ryan Gosling actually a goose?
That is, again, a topic for debate. He's either a goose, an angel, or just some guy.
I don't know which one to pick.
True. But that is not today's sort of discussion. Today we're talking about the Yeti. Would you like me to recount my encounter with the Yeti?
Okay, before we get into your specific thing, I have a lot of questions, obviously.
Yes, I will ask away.
So, the abominable snowman, or Yeti, is seen in a lot of different mountain ranges. What are the descriptions that most commonly come up from, like, these sightings? Like, how tall is this guy supposed to be?
Typically very, very large. 7 to 8 feet at the very least.
So did people think he was a person, or did they think he was something else?
It is often considered that the Yeti is a distant cousin of the Bigfoot or the skunk ape.
But that is also a distant cousin of a human person.
Possibly, potentially.
Like
some sort of missing link in the biological chain.
Ah, okay. So do the sightings usually see, like, how much is the sighting usually? Like, oh my gosh, he came up to my camp and shook my hand. Or like, maybe I saw something move behind this rock once.
Rare is it that anyone recounts a physical encounter with a creature. Oftentimes it's a glimpse of movement through a blizzard or a ransacked camp after a trek.
What has popular what has popular logic explained this away as just seeing things?
Well, some falsely believe it to be a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
But as everybody knows, a Bigfoot is terrified of the cold and would avoid such a region. Some attribute the creature to being a normal bear, and perhaps those Tibetanese were being quite literal when naming the Yeti the Meti. They weren't saying, oh look, the terrifying Yeti. They were saying, oh look, the terrifying bear. Which, okay, fine.
Bears can get pretty big.
They can be very scary, Beth. I would not want to wrestle a bear again.
So do you suspect that there are lots of abominable snowmans in a lot of different mountain ranges because there have been so many sightings, or you think he just travels a lot?
Oh, undoubtedly, it is an entire species
okay.
that covers an entire range of mountains across the globe.
Okay, so there's not one abominable snowman?
No.
Not like there's not one...
Well, there is one abominable snowman, but there are many Yetis.
Oh, okay. Is abominable
I would like to be very clear on that point.
Is that the name of one of them?
It is the name of one very specific individual that I happen to meet, yes.
Or is there just one that's, like, disgusting and everyone else is pretty nice? Or is both
I
true?
only have the experience of the abominable one, but I believe it is unfair to hold up the rest of the species to what the abominable snowman has portrayed them as.
Okay. Where was the earliest sighting in history of, well, you said, I guess, since ever the climbing. When was the most recent sighting?
The most recent sighting? Well, you can probably hop on the internet and find one from yesterday.
People see them all the time.
Oh, yes, it's one of the most commonly sighted cryptids.
Okay.
Despite their stark white fur and their camouflage, their immense size and lumbering gait really gives them away.
So they try to blend in, but they're not so good at it.
Yes, much like a deer attempts to blend into the background by having brown fur, but we as humans can be like, wow, look at that deer standing in the middle of the field.
So maybe for the prey of the abominable snowman, it's very effective, but for others, it's not.
Correct. It is my assumption that the camouflage is not defensive, but merely a tool to utilize in the hunt.
So do they? Well, I guess this gets more into the interview question, but do they want to remain hidden from the humans? Or is their goal, or they just kind of view us as like another animal that cohabitates the planet?
I believe they are primarily a solitary species. They are not seeking out humanity for connection or conversation, typically. But they are content to live out their existence high in the mountain ranges.
Has any human person other than you made contact more fully and like found these guys?
It's possible that you have interacted with a Yeti and not even known it.
What?
Yes, Beth.
How?
A shaved Yeti.
What?
It looks very similar to just a very large man.
Why would they do that?
To attempt to blend into society.
I thought you said they don't want to be. They want to be solitary.
In general, but sometimes a young Yeti may get the itch. Not like a disease or a condition or anything like that.
Like lice?
It's
so it's like lice and they have to shave their whole...
No,
like when people get lice and shave their heads when...
It's more like a yearning.
When
they yearn for society.
People get lice and shave their heads, and that's not actually the most effective way to get rid of lice, so don't do that. So tell the Yeti not to do that if they do it.
If I encounter a lice-ridden creature, cryptid or not, I will be sure to inform them not to shave.
There are other, like, medicated shampoos.
I will direct them to you, Beth. You seem very educated on the topic.
Well, let me tell you, public school was something else back in my day. We had to get we had a lot of routine checks, like twice a month at my public school.
That's why I never dealt with school, the whole thing.
Did you not go to school?
That's a topic for another day, Beth. We're talking about the Yeti.
What's the highest level of education you had?
I am very educated, Beth.
Can you read?
Beth, I'm insulted that you would even ask that.
Maybe that's why I haven't seen the handbooks, because maybe you just...
The handbooks were delivered very clearly, inappropriately.
To?
Your address.
That's 2 couch cushion seats down.
And where are they, Beth?
I don't know why you sent them through the mail!
I entrusted them to the United States Postal System. Where are they, Beth?
Maybe you put the wrong name, because you sometimes don't know my name. What's my last name?
Yeti.
Good try, but no.
Damn.
Anyway, tell us when you climbed a mountain. Wait, sorry. We were talking about the people that integrate sometimes with society for a short time.
Yes, they get the itch.
Don't say it like that. That sounds gross.
The yearning. They yearn.
That's gross.
Deep within their souls for a connection.
That's gross.
They shun the isolationism.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Within their race and seek out connection. So therefore they shave themselves to attempt to blend in amongst us.
Different kind of camouflage.
Yes. Much more effective, honestly.
Do they get mistaken for albino people?
Most commonly, yes. Very large albino people.
How tall?
7 to 8 feet, typically.
Have you ever met an 8-foot person?
I've met a few creatures that exceed that height.
That pass as a human?
Some do, some don't.
Anyway, let's get into what you were talking about. Apparently, Mr.
It was the 1970s in Aspen, Colorado.
Where is that?
Colorado, Beth.
Oh.
Listen with your ears.
Well, where's Colorado?
America somewhere. I'm not a geographer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, Aspen.
Aspen, Colorado, like the tree.
I was going to say that's a type of tree.
But not the tree. It is like a very reasonably large town/city.
You climbed a tree and there was a Yeti at the top of it and you shook his hand?
Ahead of me. I was in Aspen, Colorado for a
You
ski
were-
competition. It was the 70s. It was the hip thing to do. Everybody skied.
Did you have like cool like goggles and like neon like suits?
Everything was neon, Beth.
Yeah.
And everything was skin tight or baggy or some weird mixture in between.
That's just clothing.
It was weird.
What, clothing is weird?
In the 70s it was.
Okay. Okay, tell me what color skis you had.
My skis, of course, were checkerboard black and white. I was very into chess at the time.
On the top, what was the bottom of the skis colored? So when you do sick jumps, people could see like something.
And they were black, but I had taken a white paint and painted on the bottom. Eat my sleet, suckers.
How do you spell suckers? Did you put suckers?
It was suckers, yes.
That's good stuff right there.
Yes.
Thank you for
I
that.
thought so. I was pretty funny in the 70s, Beth.
Yeah, what happened?
It was a ski competition.
In 1970 what?
4 or 5 or 3. Somewhere in that area.
Okay.
The early to mid 1970s.
Okay.
A ski competition. Competition was fierce. Everybody was skiing in these days, Beth. I'm not sure I can explain my point as great enough. How many people were skiing in Aspen, Colorado at the time?
Was your greatest rival there?
Is where I found my greatest rival. A beast of a man.
Yeah.
Easily between 7 and 8 feet tall.
No!
Albino.
Really?
Yes.
What was his name? What was he going by?
Yeti.
That's a cool last name.
I thought he was Italian.
Mr. Yeti.
Yes, with a name like Yaris. I think that's a car now.
That sounds right. See, he's very sleek. Very
Yes.
sleek. A tough ski competition.
Yes, it was very tough. Yaris and I were neck and neck the entire time.
Okay.
Slaloms,
Uh-huh.
neck and neck. We did the distance jumping. Despite his immense mass, he glided through the air like a swan through a gentle summer's breeze.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, I soared like a falcon, defiant against the air that dare force me down.
Those are good images. Yes, thank you.
Yes, this is an audio format, Beth. You have to really evoke imagery.
Oh, can I try?
Oh dear. Yes, Beth, you may try.
Okay, so I'm sitting here with Arthur, and we're in the RV, and the couch that I'm sitting on is puke brown and also crusty. And Arthur is sitting across from me at the RV recording table, and his hair has like a rainbow sheen to it because it looks like it's an oil slick, and his beard has spots of green goo, but right next to green crusties, and a little bit of white, and also a rust-colored brown right on the middle of his chin. And also he smells.
Good. He smells good.
He smells like...
Good. He smells good. He smells delightful,
He smells like he rolled in
a tropical breeze blowing over a field of dandelions and poppies, and whistling through a thicket of elm and cedar.
He smells like he went to a tropical store, but then accidentally got lost on the way and started rolling in dead and decaying poppies and cedar branches.
Beth, don't start muddying this with the truth.
And then he started rolling in mud, too.
Beth, it's exfoliating, I feel. You are attacking my character.
Well, the part of exfoliating is that you remove the mud after.
I really want long exfoliation.
What?
Long-term exfoliation, look it up.
I don't think that's true. I think that's false.
It's in my encyclopedia set.
How old? Did you write that yourself?
Don't worry about it. Ski competition. Yaris.
Yeti.
Neck and neck.
I will remember that name forever because it's so cool.
Well, he was a very cool man. He had the coolest mullet I've ever seen. Stark white. The entire thing.
Did he have a beard like icicles?
No, his skin, although he appeared to be albino, it was almost pink because the biting cold.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It makes the blood rush to the surface and blushes all over you. But his 5 o'clock shadow. Well, it started at the beginning of the competition as a 5 o'clock shadow, but throughout the course of the competition, it had grown to like a full Abe Lincoln.
No way.
Field. Oh, but stark white.
How long was this competition from what time to what time?
Well, this was a full day event.
Really?
8 a.m. and trophies were presented at 10 p.m.
Did you ski in the night?
Oh, yes.
What was your
The nighttime slalom was my specialty.
Why?
Because I ski with no fear.
Do other skiers fear the dark?
They fear running into things.
That's fair.
But I have no fear. I just bounce right off.
What was your nighttime look? Was it different than the daytime look? Did you have like cool lights?
The only thing I added was my typical ski goggles are replaced with the lens with a pure black lens. Yes. What do I need to see anyways? It's pitch black out. So
Okay.
embrace the darkness.
So you were just going at it.
How
did you see where the slums were? Did you echolocate?
I smelled them, Beth. I have a very good nose.
For like plastic vinyl.
For various odors I attune myself to.
Apparently not cedar decay.
Typically I would, before the event started, I would go around to each slalom net and I would surreptitiously place a sample of something odious upon them.
Is that legal in the competition? Is that legal?
Nobody stopped me, Beth. Nobody stopped me.
Is Johnny Law gonna catch up with you on
I was
this?
inspecting the slalom flags.
Is every competitor allowed to do that?
We weren't not allowed.
Okay, that's questionable as always. So then, how did you get tipped off? I'm assuming that Yaris Yeti was a Yeti, probably the abominable snowman that you've been mentioning.
Yes, with the gift of hindsight, it was pretty blatantly obvious that this was a Yeti committing in the skiing competition.
Is that legal? Or was it a human only?
It should not be. They are unfairly advantaged with their superior physique.
So you're saying that you lost?
You are jumping the gun, Beth, but yes. I came in second to a Yeti.
Oh, I thought maybe you would come in 15th.
Beth, I was a very skilled skier.
But then
Don't you remember my imagery? Soaring defiantly like a falcon.
Do you want me to remind you of my imagery?
No.
How did you get tipped off that he was a Yeti and thus interviewed him appropriately for the paranormal interview?
Well, this was... Actually, it was at the trophy ceremony.
At 10 p.m.
At 10 p.m., yes. After competing fiercely throughout the whole day, I had not been close enough to Yaris to converse with him. But after the trophy ceremony, we were upon the pedestal. I, of course, offer a congratulatory handshake.
Yeah, good
to Yaris
sportsmanship.
upon the first. Yes, I am the best sportsman. I can accept defeat graciously.
But also, you got second. Not bad.
I was second. Now, it was a place of honor still. And I sought to elevate my perceived standing by this great act of showmanship. Right.
So maybe it was just for show. Anyway.
Yes, it was completely self-serving. But anyways, I offer a handshake to Yaris, and he envelops my hand with his entire bestial mitt.
Yeah.
And squeezes, and I swear, 3 bones snapped in my hand, Beth.
That seems not cool.
And after a brief yelp of pain, which I tried to stifle so as to maintain my strong appearance.
Right, yeah.
I said, "Oh my, what a bestial grasp you have there, Yeti, Yaris Yeti. Wait, Yeti. Oh dear." You see, I had stumbled myself to cracking the secret, Beth.
So you're telling me that they didn't, put in the program, the sports program, where it says, competing for Italy, Eddie, competing for who knows where because he's a enigma and a mystery, what's your last name? Mansley. I got it? Okay, you want to know? I got it right, though.
Well, this wasn't a large international competition. This was the Kiddie Ski Club of Aspen Retreat.
How many people were competing?
7.
Was that the average age, too?
I brought it up a bit.
Were there 4-year-olds and 0-year-olds?
Beth, we're not discussing this right now. That is not the important part of the ski competition.
Oh boy, that is more
The important part is that Yaris Yeti is a cheating bastard.
Quit saying that word. It's not polite on air.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Yaris Yeti got me heated.
I thought he was pretty cool. Hey.
Your finger guns don't show up on air, Beth.
I thought he was, as smooth as the ice upon a lake when it's frozen over in the winter. I'm trying to work on the imagery.
Continue working on it, Beth. You've got a long way to go.
Okay, anyway, did you ever talk to the man straight up? Probably in private. Did you heckin' blast him?
I ambushed him at his igloo.
He lived in an igloo nearby.
Again, this is, the more you look at it, the more it, screams this man is not a man but a Yeti.
The more you question your ability as a paranormal interviewer to suss out the truth.
Correct. But I follow Yaris Yeti.
Okay. You figured it out.
To his igloo. And Beth, when I told you, there is one specific creature known as the Abominable Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
It must be this one.
Why?
Dude's a slob. He's just got trash bags lined up outside.
Okay.
He's got a trash can.
That's
like
good.
One of the city collection ones or whatever. You could be tossing it into and taking to the curb. Clearly just can't be bothered. Just piling it up out there.
Oh, so his personality wasn't disgusting, just his living quarters.
Oh, his personality was vile too.
Is that colored because you
As I approach, you know what I hear blaring out from the entrance. Cranked to full volume.
Cher.
Oh, Cher would be a good thing.
Barbara Streisand.
It was the insane clown posse, Beth. He time-traveled 20 years into the future to receive an insane clown posse record.
I don't know what that is.
They're like singing clowns, Beth.
Or maybe he just initiated it and then they got inspiration from later.
You're not making him sound better, Beth.
Well, yeah, but... okay.
Either he time-traveled purely to receive this music, or he created this vile concoction of audio information.
When you went in, did he have an audio setup?
Honestly, I couldn't bear to breach his threshold.
Yeah. Did it smell bad?
The odor, the audio. I tried to holler over the sound. Mr. Yeti! Mr. Yeti, I've discovered your secrets. I require an interview with you. And a couple cans of Pabst Blue Ribbon were hurled out of an open window in my direction.
An open igloo window.
He punched out one of the bricks, specifically to throw these cans at me.
That is pretty abominable. Come on, man.
And then he took the trophy, he affixed it to the top of the igloo.
Like a TV antenna?
Like a TV antenna, to taunt me with his victory over me.
That's pretty abominable.
The cheating bastard.
It's pretty rude, too.
It was very rude. Very abominable.
Yeah. Unfortunately. So were you ever able to ask him any questions?
None that he responded to, unfortunately.
What did you try to ask?
Well, of course I asked him, why are you competing in this very obviously for humans skiing competition?
And also children, but
there was no age requirement, Beth, I checked.
But it was called Kitty.
There was no age requirement, Beth, I checked.
It was called Child.
There are many things that are named things that don't mean those things, Beth.
Like Ryan Gosling.
Like Ryan Gosling.
And Jeff Bridges!
He is not a bridge, Beth.
It's true, he's not! What else did you try to ask Yaris?
Of course, I asked him, why must you torture me so with your prominent display of your victory over me.
What else? Okay, well, that may be a valid question. What else did you ask him about his lineage?
Honestly, at this point, I was more offended by his comeuppance that he had yet to receive. I needed him out speaking with me so that I could deliver a verbal blow so great as to knock him onto his tuchus.
I think.
But he was obstinately refusing to exit his abode.
I think things like, would you say it was a verbal avalanche of reprimand?
I like that imagery, Beth. Yes.
It's also a snow pun. It's a double. It hits a double duty.
Thank you for clarifying, Beth. I didn't catch that.
Would you like to do any more ice puns about how maybe you're mad about this guy?
Oh, you put me on the spot about it, and now I've got cold feet.
Ah, that's a good one.
What? Well, Mr. Yeti was, as I said, quite abominable. And if I refuse to accept him as representative of his entire species, as I said, because it is hard for me to believe that an abominable species such as that could ever reproduce within itself.
That's also a nice outlook that you have about the humanity of different species. Humanity, so to speak.
So to speak. Because he's not a human, Beth.
No,
he broke the rules.
Yeah, it's a human competition.
Human competition. They didn't write it down, but it's very obviously you could tell.
They didn't write down an age requirement too, am I correct?
Yeah, but I still signed up and they let me in.
So did Mr. Eddie. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about the Yetis as a whole, maybe? How long do they live?
I have no idea, Beth, to be quite frankly honest. My interaction with Mr. Yeti was so foul, so distasteful that I lost all interest in the Yeti species afterwards. And
did he give you the cold shoulder?
I'm starting to regret this whole ice pun thing, Beth. I was so just disgusted with Mr. Yeti's behavior that I refused to seek out another Yeti for many, 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 many years.
That's too bad.
Yes, it is a shame. Because I'm sure they're a magnificent species of cryptid. But man, was Mr. Yeti an ass.
Did he have a cold heart?
Yes. Do you want me to say yes? Is that what you're looking for, Beth? Yes. Are you satisfied?
You can email us at arthurmansley@gmail.com. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people?
Dear listener, if you ever enter a skiing competition, ensure that the rules clearly state
age.
A human competition. And even then be sure that any competitor between the height of 7 feet and 8 feet is thoroughly checked and thoroughly shaven.
That's kind of gross.
It's a necessity, Beth. Lest we have another Yaris Yeti situation. I won't be hornswoggled again.